So as you saw in the previous video, I did a package opening and setting up of my new box spring. But I'm sure some of you might be asking, why did it take me so long to get a box spring, seeing as though you saw in a previous video months ago that I got my bed and I got my mattress and my bed frame first of all before the box spring. Like, why was the box spring missing? Or why didn't I get a frame that was a combination bed frame box spring, if you will? Why didn't I do all of that, basically? I'm sure you're wondering that if you're curious, because I know there are some people in my family that are curious about that as well. Well, I'll tell you why I didn't. I'll tell you why, basically. You see, when I got the mattress and the frame, that was my main focus. It was like, the futon that I had was getting so bad that basically, like I said before, I felt like I was going to fall right through, if you will, to the storage area underneath, because it had that little storage area underneath it, and I felt like I was going to fall through. So I was just like, you know what, I got to get something right now. I don't care, if I get, everything or whatever. I just need to get something right now. And I had the money, and I saw that, okay, there's a bed frame, there's a mattress, perfect size, the perfect size for the area where I had my futon. Because when I measured out my futon to see how big it was, to compare it to the kind of mat and bed frame I would need, or the mattress and bed frame I would need, I saw that it was a twin size. It was basically twin size is what the futon was. The futon was a twin size bed, if you will, once it's folded out, and even twin size when it's in couch mode. So I decided to get a twin size mattress and bed frame. And like I said, that was my only focus at the time. That was my only focus, because I needed something to sleep on, so I wouldn't potentially fall through, like I said, the bed and into that little storage auto, if you will, storage auto that was part of the futon. So that was my main focus. That was my only focus, and not the box spring. But when I got it, the first thing my mom asked me was, "Did you get a box spring?" And I'm just like, "What are you talking about?" She shows me her bed, and she says, "Well, what do you think's holding up my mattress?" "It's a box spring." So I said, "Okay, fine, I'll get a box spring," but I wasn't in a hurry. I was just glad to have a mattress and a bed. I was just glad to have some kind of bed, if you will, with the bed frame and the mattress. I was just happy to have that. But I think what convinced me, one of the first things that convinced me is that even though everything was fine and everything was good, it was, comfortable to sleep on, no problems whatsoever, the only issue I had, and it was a minor one, it was a minor issue, and I'll show you what it is, or what it was. It was a minor issue, but the only minor issue I had was because the mattress here, this is the mattress right here, was on top of the frame here. See, I had the mattress right here on top of the frame where the box spring is now. And what would happen is when I would push down certain areas on the mattress, they would slip through, or they would slip. They would slip off the metal. They would slip off the frame, the metal frame here, and I'd have to basically push them back in. So in other words, the mat being on the frame, we would slip off, and basically it would slip off and come like right here. So I'd have to push it back in, and then sometimes I would have to I'd have to pull the mattress forward to make sure that didn't happen. And that kind of helped a little bit as well, especially recently after I washed my sheets and all that the other day. So that's one reason I did it, so that wouldn't become an annoying issue, which, it wasn't, which I'll tell you right now, even though it was a bit annoying, it wasn't to the point that, it made me mad, it got me frustrated or anything. It's, that basically what it got to, I'll be honest, is me just being like, me just nodding my head like this, going, "Oh, here we go again." And I would just have to get down and, like I said, push the mattress back up onto the frame. But again, it wasn't that big of an issue. But my honest opinion, I didn't want it to get to a point that it would potentially annoy me, because I know that it would annoy anybody else if they, just had a mattress in a frame for quite some time, and it did that as well. The other reason I finally decided to get a box spring is like I've been telling you for a while, my mom is going to be off for the next 2 months after today, and I basically want to avoid her kind of on occasions pointing out that that issue that I mentioned wouldn't have happened if I had a box spring, or her constantly asking me, when are you going to get a box spring, to avoid that from happening over and over, or keep kind of stop that from happening and stuff, or keep that from happening and stuff. You get what I'm saying. So the second reason was to avoid that. Because I know that even though she wouldn't do it she wouldn't do it constantly. What I'm trying to say is, even though I know she wouldn't do it in a pestery kind of way and constantly, she would do it on occasions to where she would hope it would drill right into my head, hey, maybe you need to get that. Maybe you need to get that. The other reason why I decided to get it as well, the third reason, is I know how my mom is when it comes to getting big items in the mail. I'll put it this way, how basically careful she is when you get big items in boxes and they come into the house and everything. She's very particular about, them potentially hitting the walls, or hitting the windows, or hitting the closets or something like that. She's very, very particular about that, very, very particular. And sometimes, and I love my mom, and she knows it, but sometimes it can get a little bit irritating with her kind of basically pointing out all this, like, hey, you got to be careful about that, you got to be this, you got to do that, da da da. And again, I understand why she's doing that. I love her. I understand why she's doing that. And that's just how she is. She's even admitted that she doesn't like herself being that way, but that's just something that, that's part of her personality. That's part of who she is. It's hereditary. It's a very hereditary thing she gets from my grandparents, her parents, if you will. So, so since she gets it from them, she's going to be that way. She's always going to find certain issues, or want to make sure things are done a certain way. She's just, that way, overall. But again, that's one thing I wanted to avoid, was I didn't want her to, be on my back, be like a backseat driver, making sure I did things right and making sure I didn't damage anything. Again, I understand why, I understand, how she feels. I get that. But I've done this before with my bed frame, my mattress and everything. I've done it before, so I know what I was doing. But yeah, those are just 3 of the reasons why I finally decided to get a bed frame. Oh, not a bed frame, but a box spring for my bed, and basically complete the puzzle, complete the overall picture, if you will. But yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know about that. And if any of you were wondering why it took me so long to get a box spring for my bed, and I will talk to you later. Take care. God bless.